Hey, what's up? It's Gabby here from Helps Too.
And I'm Amber from Helps Too.
Welcome to another one of our weekly videos. We are changing it up today because we usually come through with like a tutorial or some kind of instructions on how you can basically level up with your marketing or reaching people. But today we're gonna be a little more, self-focused and talk about some of our marketing fails. And so, I felt like we should just come through to do this because we're always like, this is what you do, this is what you do, but we don't ever talk about what we've done. And it hasn't always been glamorous. And so we want to encourage you guys first with our fails. And I think maybe we'll come through and do a video later with like our successes. So you want to start with one?
Sure.
Okay, so before you start, I think we should do, sorry, this is how I am. Forgive me. We should do a personal one and one for Helps Too. Because we both have our own channels.
Okay.
You know,
That's
and you
fair.
can follow us if you want to, but I think, yeah, we should do two. So
Okay.
do one either way.
Okay. I'll talk about a fail that happened somewhat recently with Helps Too. So I was managing our social media for Helps Too, and we hadn't had a very consistent color palette picked out. We kind of
This is
had
true.
an idea of what we wanted. Gabby had thrown me a couple of, like, oh, I want cheetah print in there, and I want our orange, because our color is orange.
It's embarrassing, but true.
It's real, You have all these great ideas, but then when you try to translate them without anything very specific, it doesn't always come out well. And so I was trying to create this theme and this brand that would be our new rebrand, but it just didn't fit together. We had too many colors going on, too many patterns going on. Nothing really made sense. It was like each individual piece of content was cool, but when you put it all together in an Instagram feed, it just looked like a mess. It looked like a 12-year-old's Instagram. And so we actually had to wind up deleting a lot of those posts, but, it was a good learning experience.
Like all of those posts.
All of those posts, if I'm honest. But it was a good learning experience of how important it is to make sure that you have very set in place branding, color scheme, all of that before you really start putting stuff out there. And so now we actually do have a really consistent brand, and we have our colors picked out. We actually used a program called Coolers. So
Simple.
if you are looking to start your color scheme for your brand, I highly recommend starting there.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, because I think, first of all, if you know me, which a lot of you don't know me like she knows me, I have a vision of how I want things to look in my head, and I am a creative, so usually it's very particular, and I wasn't the best, maybe that's my fail, I wasn't the best at communicating that to Amber, who is heading up how our brand looks on everything in social media, so that's kind of my bad, because she's trying to walk like 4 elements out, and I had like a whole vision, and I should have like really taken the time to get that to you, so...
Yeah.
Humble leader moment where I'm like, we missed the train by 50 miles and we had to find a different way to get there. So, and we sat down, right? We figured out a color palette, figured out how our text is gonna look, like every single branding element, made sure it was taken care of so we don't have to second guess. And so what's funny is that we do this for people all the time, but yet missed it for ourselves, like just never got around to it and just kept gambling with different ideas and they didn't work. So I guess that's my biggest fail with Helps Too. My biggest fail would be just waiting so long to actually brand ourselves and take time to do our own social media. It's kind of like the workout coach approach. That rhymes, workout coach approach. We might have to use that later. What, workout coach approach? Wow. Anyways, I just took so long to really push our own social media because we were just so inundated and like dealing with clients. Like we've worked with a lot of amazing clients here at Helps Too, and they've always been the forefront of our focus, and we're proud about what we've done, but at the same time, we kind of put our own health as a company and our branding on the line. And so you can be the best workout coach all day long, but if you don't work out yourself, it's really hard for people to want to take your advice. So we've realized that the same is true for a marketing company or whatever you're doing. So I think, yeah, that's probably one of my biggest fails here at Helps Too. I've been with Helps Too for like literally 10 years now.
Wow.
So I feel like there's a lot of fails. We could go on and on with this. What's a personal fail for you? Like with your own social media?
I'm guilty of.
And it doesn't have to be huge. It could be small.
Yeah, just not putting myself out there on social media. That is definitely still currently. Maybe by the time this video is released, it will be different. But I struggle with. I'm an artist, and so I struggle with feeling comfortable and confident to like put myself out there as an artist and to really share what I'm doing and to feel like it's good enough to be presentable to the public. And so people have like this little window of what I do as an artist, but there's actually so much more. And I think it's so important that whatever you're doing, whether you're an artist, whether you're a singer, songwriter, whatever it is you're trying to market yourself as, like you have to be okay with being a little vulnerable, honestly, like not always putting out the thing that's the most amazing quality. I mean, it should still be some kind of quality, but it doesn't have to be, your best thing every single time. Just put out a little thing little side project that you did, and I'm speaking to myself right now.
Preach to the choir.
That is my goal. I want to start putting myself out there as an artist, and it's definitely been a fail for me for a really long time, but yeah.
But at least you know it, and you're conscious.
Yeah.
Conscious.
I don't know.
Conscious of it. English is my first language, I promise. Yeah, I think honestly, what's funny, we write about that in our most recent book called We Don't Need Another Marketing Book, and it's called imposter syndrome.
Yes.
No matter how far someone can be, you can still struggle with these thoughts of, I'm not good enough.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody really cares about what I'm doing. Nobody wants what I'm doing. They'll figure me out and think that I'm a fraud. It's weird. It's a weird way to see yourself, but I think a lot of us struggle with that. So for me, when it comes to that, I would say my own personal brand as Martay Music, I would say I dealt with imposter syndrome for a long time. And I did not realize that I was actually struggling with it. And now that I realize it, I think I would have just gone for it and gambled more with my content and really found my way quicker in terms of what works for me content-wise. I was actually just telling someone about this the other day, somebody who is an artist, a musician, and they also love to do photography. They're just a creative in so many different ways. I love creatives. I just love all of us. But they were just kind of like, I don't want to do anything because I haven't figured out what works for me. And I'm like, well, it's actually kind of reverse. Like you need to figure out what works for you by going for it.
So
and then
true.
if it sucks, delete it. Honestly, if someone screenshot you, I'm sorry, man. Sucks for you. I'm just kidding. But that's what has worked for me as Martay, the musician. Eventually I was like, let's try a sing off, and let's try this boomerang, and let's try this weird video. And then what takes off always surprises me. Like covers of really random songs take off, and I'm like, holy moly, I never thought people would like this stuff, and they're like, give us more. Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
And then sing-offs with random friends. Who knew? I always thought that people only wanted to hear original music because that's what is important to me and wanted me to be super authentic, which I think they still do, but I used to always think it was only my music that they wanted to hear, and that's just not true. Sometimes they want to hear a good cover, and they want to hear your story and different things. So I would say, that's probably one of my biggest fails, not jumping into that quicker. So if you're struggling with that, jump in now. Don't wait 3 years. I feel like if I would have started when I originally had the idea to start and just go for it in terms of putting myself out there as a musician, I would be like 10 years ahead right now. You know what I mean? And so I struggle with that sometimes. So I think that's it for all of our fails. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Do you feel like
I feel exposed. Like, let me just tell you what I'm bad at, but
But I think it'll help them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whoever's watching, we hope that it helps
Absolutely.
you. So make sure you subscribe and follow us on social media. We will see you in our next video.